Farnell here, and thanks for listening to Lead Your Best Life. This is a super important and possibly sad topic, but an important topic if you're serious about leading your best life. Listen in. Welcome back. I'm sitting here looking at an email sent to me by a business person that actually made contact with me about a week ago. She'd listened to one of my podcasts and said, "Lee, that was so inspiring. Could you help me with our business?" And as we got talking, she already told me that the business was in severe financial difficulty to the point where they're going to have to close down their operation. They're going to have to pare it back. And now I've just got the email that was sent 21 hours ago announcing to the public that, after 4.5 years, they were having to close down their operations. I'm not going to say where it was or even what type of business it was, but as it says, experiencing severe financial difficulties. And they go through a range of reasons, including COVID, as to why the business has to close down, or at least the physical location of the business has to close down. And as she said, she literally left a corporate position and had clearly put a lot of her savings and even superannuation, I assume, into the business. I did ask her, what training or investment did you make in understanding about sales and marketing before you invested all this time and money? Needless to say, what do you think the answer was? The answer was none. I'd spent no time on sales and marketing. It was all passion. It was, I love this area. I want to help people. I love the area, so I want to help other people love this area of business, and it would be so great if it worked. But in terms of, the steel component of business, the commercial component of business, I think back to Warren Buffett as a trader, as a steely numbers based person, where he said rule number 1 is do not lose capital, and rule number 2, reread rule number 1. The steely based person goes, let's do the business plan, let's check the numbers. Is there demand in the marketplace? Who else is doing it? Is anyone else making money out of this area in that location? Like, they do some kind of left brain competitor analysis. What's happened here is, and I can relate to it, I've done it many times, the dynamo person, the impulse, heart, action-orientated person just jumps in. Now, of course, sometimes that works, but often it doesn't. As they say, the fool, and I use the word fool in inverted commas, the fool and their money are soon parted. Why? Because the fool goes in. Now you say, they go in where eagles fear to tread, where, they dare, they jump in. And of course, we all pat the pioneer on the back, well done. I remember one of the programs I did years ago, they said, the pioneer is the person that comes back with arrows either in their hat or in their back because they're going out first. They say, leading edge or bleeding edge. And they said the safest thing to do is not be at the bleeding edge where no one else has been before, but in fact, learn from those at the bleeding edge. And so here, these people are closing down. And, we appreciate your continued support. Thank you for your understanding. It's, we have not made this decision lightly, etc., etc., staff and stakeholders. But it's about resilience. So now I've said to this person, the challenge now is, how do you bounce back? How do you turn this negative to a positive? And as Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, with every setback lie the seed of equal or greater advantage. But of course, you've got to go through the grief curve. Denial, anger, bargaining, frustration, depression, acceptance. Now, these people, the CEO and founder of this business, is going to be going through denial, anger, bargaining, frustration, depression. I'm sure in the last 2.5 years or more, there's somewhere between denial and frustration and depression. And now they've come to the position, acceptance. We have to close down the facility in the city. But how do I get from acceptance to new worldview? New worldview saying, you know what, that pain, that setback, in fact, was the key to this whole new world of opportunity that we never even thought about before because we were so busy, either in love with our idea or so busy just surviving. But New World View is a crazy place because, I've had friends who've had brain aneurysms who on the other side of it go, you know what, I'm a better person because of it. Denial, anger, bargaining, frustration, depression, acceptance, New World View. I'm better off because of this situation. It's crazy and hard to believe, but it is about resilience. How do I turn the negative to a positive? We have to ask the question first. If you don't ask the question first, if you're actually bathing in misery, oh, why me? Why did this happen to me? I don't deserve this. Other people are more deserving of this than me. You're asking the wrong question. As we say from an NLP point of view, your emotional state is determined by the questions you're asking yourself and what you're focusing on. So you need to ask different questions. How do I learn from this? How do I turn this negative to a positive? What new information, what new skills do I need to find to actually go to the next level? So here we say, the knowledge around sales and marketing, the thinking around sales, marketing, business growth, the actions required, the systems. As Deming said, 94% of your problems are due to the system, 6% are due to the people. So what systems were not working for this business to go into decline? Now, yes, there was a whole range of environmental factors, including COVID and including construction in their area, which meant that foot traffic dropped off. So it's like, if you had your time again, what would you have done differently? But more to the point, how do you take those lessons into the future? And how do you turn this negative to a positive? And that means getting different brain power in the room. And I think one of the T, as I say, K, knowledge. What new knowledge? New knowledge around sales, marketing, business growth. What new thinking? But that's T for thinking, but also T for team. Who was not on your team that should have been on your team to actually make this successful? I would have thought in this case there needed to be far more active sales and marketing going on to dominate the turf and to build much stronger client loyalty, which then means what new actions and what new accountability needed to be in place. And somewhere in there would be accounting for the numbers. The numbers, not only in terms of revenue and profit, would have told you a long time ago, this is not working, we have to adapt. I often say, human beings are not dissimilar to a little single cell amoeba in a petri dish. You change the environment in the petri dish, different oxygen, different acidity, different food, and the amoeba either adapts or dies. And this is a business. The business is just the same as a living organism. It's an amoeba. It either adapts or dies. And here's an example of the business almost dying, or certainly dying in that location. And so it needs to adapt. But now, who is going to help this person to adapt? Well, that's what I want to be doing, and I'll be talking with them about this over the next couple of weeks. We need to get into a room, and as Scott Peck said, the truth will set you free, but first it will hurt you, or at least to make you mad or piss you off. And right now you can imagine these people are going to be in a state of mild depression because they've had to let go. Something has died, but it's like the rose bush. You've got to prune the rose bush, prune it back so it grows stronger. And as a human being, times we've got to prune things back to grow stronger. Things don't always keep getting better and better and better and better. Right now, the West Coast Eagles, for example, something's going on down there, or even the Fremantle Dockers or any football club. It is Charles Handy's sigmoid curve. Things grow and go beautiful. Then there's the plateau where you're doing well, and then unless you're adapting, unless you're innovating, you slide down the other side of that sigmoid curve. So if you want help to take your business to the next level and avoid having to do what these people are doing, which is really do a severe pruning of the rose bush, then I suggest you get some coaching. I suggest you get some mentoring. I suggest you have a conversation with someone, could be us, could be somebody else, to say, hey, how am I going? What do I need to do to go to the next level? Which parts of my business might I want to prune? At the same time, be like 3M. 33% of their revenue comes from products and services that didn't exist 3 years ago, and it's been that way for over 40 years. In other words, they systematically invoice and systematically develop new revenue streams and new products. So what are you doing in that area? Adapt or die. Adapt or die. And while you're adapting, and while you're hopefully not dying, you need to be able to bounce back, reinvent yourself, have that resilience, turn the negative to a positive with new knowledge, new thinking, new team, new skills, and new actions and accountability. The steel component of the business, not just the dynamo jumping into action part. I'm talking to myself. I'm looking in the mirror as I'm saying this. Who else needs to be on the team? And in most cases, it'll be sales and marketing. In fact, as Peter Drucker said, business has only two functions, marketing and innovation. And so if you're not marketing, that is radiating to the marketplace, saying who is your marketplace, what is the message, what are the mediums to get to your marketplace, how do you do that, how do you scale that, then you will be more dying than adapting. So I hope that helps in some way, get you thinking a little different, take action. In the meantime, get yourself a coach or a mentor. Want to find out more? Do touch base, because if you're talking about leading your best life, then get someone who's already been there to help be a tour guide for you, to help you get there faster and avoid having to do pruning at the last minute. Hope this helps, this rambling, this talk, and touch base. I'm Lee Farnell, and do lead your best life. See you soon.